Hello everyone and welcome to the Family Work. Today I am going to show you how we make a very simple and cheap pizza dough. After we moved, I always wanted to get a wood-fired pizza oven. We actually wanted one for the campground. I just didn't have anybody to do the actual labor of making the pizzas. So when we moved, we finally bought a personal one, and I will actually do another video showing the making of the pizza. Today is just about the dough, but it runs on wood pellets, and it does a pretty good job, and it's actually very affordable once you buy the oven. We found this recipe. I can't remember if it came with the oven or if I found it online. It's a very simple um, and easy to make pizza dough. Easy enough for me to do it, so I'm sure all of you can. But I figured out the cost today of what it actually costs to make the dough. So I'm going to show you. First thing you need is a scale, kitchen scale. I bought this off Amazon. It's just a couple dollars. And I found out that actually wasn't even small enough for what I needed, so I had to buy even yet a smaller, more precise scale to measure out some of this stuff. We do pizza night once a week now because we love this pizza. I mean, honestly, once you start doing this, ordering a chain pizza, it won't cut it anymore. So it's a little work making the pizza, but the stove part's pretty easy. So just follow along. I'm going to point the camera down so you can see. The only ingredients you really need are some pizza flour, and I think it's called 00 flour. You can get it at the grocery store, but this is from Sam's Club, and it works great for us. It's 25 pounds, and the recipe calls for breaking the dough out into, so I'm actually going to do a full recipe and I'm going to do a half recipe because today we have guests coming over. What we normally do is a half recipe, and we divide the dough out into 3 balls, which makes 3 10-inch pizzas for our family, or you could do 4 8-inch pizzas. So the numbers, it kind of depends on what size pizza you're going to do. But for us, this 25-pound bag will make about 68 10-inch pizzas. It costs $12.50, so you're looking at 18.5 cents per 10-inch pizza for the flour. The next thing you're going to need is some active dry yeast. And we used to get this in little packets, but then my wife found this can from Kroger, and that costs $8.50. It's 4 ounces, and this will last you a long time. It doesn't take much. We'll get 113 pizzas out of that, so 7.5 cents for the yeast. So between the yeast and the dough, we're looking at about 26 cents a pizza. You're also going to need some salt and a little bit of olive oil. I did not price that out because we use so little of it for the pizza, and that's just something we have in our kitchen. We don't buy that just for pizza. This stuff we do, but the cost of that's almost negligible. And then you're going to need some cold water or tap water, and then some warm water. So first thing we need to do is, and this is going to be my mixing bowl. I'll show you guys that here in a minute. We'll go ahead and do the dry yeast. I'm not sure why we have these. I think they're for cookies. I don't know. They're like little cupcake things. It's just lightweight, so it's easy for me to use that to measure out stuff. Because this dry yeast, we're only going to use 3 grams. I tried converting all of this. The recipe was originally in grams, and I tried converting it over to U.S. standard, imperial, or whatever you want to call it. It was just a pain in the butt. Since the scales go in grams, I just keep everything in grams. All right, so there you go. It's actually a little over 3 grams active dry yeast. Then you're going to want to measure out your water next. So I have this all written down for a half. So this is going to be my half recipe, dosage, whatever, and then I'll double it up again here in a minute. So 3 grams for a half. We're going to do 300 grams of water, 200 cold. And then 100 warm. And this warm water, I'm not really a chef, but my understanding is this is what really makes that yeast to start growing. All right, so I spilled a little bit of water here. Dry off my scale real quick. All right, now we're going to do salt and 10 grams. All right, 10 grams of salt and 15 grams olive oil. And that's it. Well, technically not it. I haven't done the flour yet. That's all my wet ingredients in the yeast. And then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and stir that up a little bit. Just to make sure it's all mixed together before adding my flour. All right. And now 500 grams of flour. All right. I've experimented when to add this. We're going to use a stand mixer, and honestly, just dumping it in there, it doesn't really make a difference from what I have discovered. All right. So now, I'm going to maybe point you to the stand mixer, and I'll take you over here in a second. Okay. So, I guess you'd have a cost of a mixer. You can do this by hand. There's videos on YouTube that show you that. I'm a little too lazy to do that. So we fortunately have this mixer that was gifted to us once upon a time. And I put it on the lowest setting there, and I let it run for 10 minutes. And I'll actually come back here at 10 minutes and show you what it looks like. And really, that's pretty much it. That's all you have to do. We're gonna let it proof. You can let it proof in a fridge. It takes longer if you want it for a day or two. If you set it indoors near the sunlight, it takes a couple hours. Right now it's winter. What I do is I set it actually on top of the cabinets near our heater vent. And I do this in the morning, and then I come out about midday. Once it's proof for a couple hours, about doubled in size, you're going to make dough balls, which I'll bring you back for that. And actually now while that's mixing, I'm going to go ahead and mix up my next batch, and I'll put the ingredients and the quantities. I'll put that in the description. But I'm going to double it. So that will make about 3 pieces, 10-inch pieces for us. I will double it to make about 6 more. And you can also, after it finishes proofing and you make the pizza dough balls, before you do the second proof, you can freeze that. We've only tried it once. We're going to try it again today because this makes almost a little too much for us. One full recipe won't make quite enough pizzas. And then, well, we're on the fence. Rather, we'll make the pizzas and have leftovers, or to go ahead and freeze the dough balls. But you can freeze the dough balls and then you thaw them out, let them finish proofing, and you can do this all over again. But really, honestly, that just took, if I wasn't videotaping, it would have taken less than 5 minutes to do that. So it's pretty easy. It's actually a lot more time consuming making the pizza in the oven, even though each pizza only takes 90 seconds to 2 minutes to make. You only do one at a time, and then, and I'll get into this later, but you don't make all the, you don't stretch out all the dough at one time. Otherwise, it gets really hard to work with. So you're making each pizza crust as you're cooking it. So it can be, when you're doing 10 of them, it can be a good 45-minute process to make and cook all 10 pizzas. And then you're not spending time with your guests. So that's the one challenge we found, but it's worth the wait because we're still fine-tuning the process, so we still burn some or, make a couple mistakes here or there. But all the reviews have been good so far. Okay, so we'll see you back here in a few minutes, and I'll show you the dough. All right, so this is about 8 minutes or so. This is pretty much what you get: a clean bowl and one dough ball. So while that was happening, I went ahead and measured out. I doubled everything. So now my next batch, I got 6 grams of dry active yeast. I have 30 grams of olive oil, 20 grams of salt, 400 grams of room temperature water, 200 grams of warm water, and 1,000 grams of dough. And what I forgot to say was cheese. I went ahead and figured out a cost. Sam's Club, we do a 5-pound bag of shredded mozzarella. That costs about $15 or 18 cents an ounce. But when we have guests over, this really makes a big difference. And we might start doing this more often. You can get this fresh mozzarella. It's $8.68, about 27 cents an ounce. So this is 1.5 times the cheese. One thing I've never done was measured out how much cheese we put on it. So we're going to do that today. I did a quick search online. It said about 4 ounces for a 10-inch pizza. So you're looking at, I don't know, maybe 80 cents to $1 in cheese. And we also make our own sauce, another very simple recipe. We'll do another video on that later. But again, you're looking at like about $1 a pizza, which you can't beat that, especially wait till you see the results, which we will show in another video. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, And I gotta put the phone down. Hang on just a sec. Let me switch back over here. Okay, so I'm gonna get this dough off here. And it's kind of tacky, a little bit sticky. No cause for concern with that. Because after it proofs and after we make our dough balls, I've learned a few little things to make it easier to shape the crust. But we'll just put that, and I think you can like cover that with like a wet cloth or something like that, but honestly, this has worked great for us. I close it in one of these plastic containers. Again, another Sam's Club purchase. But this is a half recipe that will double in size here in a couple hours in a warm spot. And or if you want to put it overnight in a refrigerator, I think that works as well if you want to cold proof it. And that's it. Easy as could be. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I might pick back up and show you how I do the dough balls. I'm not sure if that's going to be another video or not. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed and learned something.